Do you have a relationship with your children that when they get into their offices and someone sexually harasses them, they can actually come to you to tell you whether they are male or female? People have lost their jobs because they refuse to be sexually harassed. When people throw sexual remarks at you, don't take it. It is not right for you to be harassed sexually. Nobody should touch you in the places where you do not want them to touch. Hello everyone. Oh my goodness, you're welcome to another episode of Life Unscripted with Olabisi. My name is Olabisi. If this is your first time joining, welcome to the family. We've been expecting you. So follow, like, share on all our social media platforms, and then subscribe as well so that you can, and click on your notification actually, so that when we have new episodes, you will get notified and then you can join us to watch. What do I want to talk about today? Actually, this one is very sensitive, yeah? I want to talk about sexual harassment. And I want to talk about it as a woman. And one of the things I have discovered in the last few years that men also face a lot of sexual harassment. So I am not going to be feminine on this topic, but I am definitely going to be speaking as a woman. And I want to talk about the fact that people do not have a right to your body unless you give them the right to. And if you had given them the right yesterday, that was yesterday. If you don't want them to have a right to your body today, then they do not have a right to your body. People also shouldn't be giving you sexual side remarks, throwing sexual innuendos at you, and expecting you to take it because it is the norm. It is not the norm to be sexually harassed on any level. I remember one of the places where I worked. There was a gentleman that was on another floor, and I don't know how, I don't know if he timed it, I don't know if he was following me, but most of the time we took the elevator ride in the morning together. And at first, good morning, quiet silence, get off my floor, everyone has a good day. Then one time like that, he looked at me and then he told me point blank, oh my goodness, what I would do to your body if I lay my hands on it. First, I thought he was on the phone. But then it dawned on me that, madam, phones are not allowed, as if phones don't work in the elevator. And I am talking early 2000s, so phones were definitely not working in the elevator. Once you get into the elevator, your phone won't work until you get out of the elevator. I pretended as though I didn't hear him. The next time we rode the elevator together, he said something similar. The third time, he said it again. I told him, I said, is there something you would like to tell me? And then he looks at me from head to toe, you know, the way they give you that sexual look. And he didn't. I said, you had better not have anything to say, because you will be shocked at how my hand will just find its way to your face. He said what? I said, try me. He reported me to my boss that I was insolent and everything. My boss was carrying her face for me for a few days. Then one day she was talking about being the kind of employee. She was giving us a bit of training, like being a kind of employee that other people, you be like a brand ambassador outside, so that when people are talking about the company and they talk about you in the company, they talk about you in a favorable light. Then she used me as an example that this person has been, talking to her about my actions. And I raised up my hand. I said, did you ask me what that clown did? She said, what? I said, he's a clown. Did you ask me what he did? Then I told her what he said. And I said, the third time he tried it, I asked him if he had anything to say to me. He did his mouth like he wanted to eat. And I said, you had better not say, because if you did, I would have slapped you. And I said, I will slap him if he addresses me to my face with that rubbish. My father did not raise a fool. My mother did not raise an idiot. I will not take sexual harassment on any level. I was sexually molested as a child. I am a grown woman now. Sexual harassment is not on my table. You try me. Go and try Jesus. don't try me because I'll raise my hands on you. Neat. I will not take sexual harassment from anybody. Jesus is the one that will forgive you, lay hands on you, and love you. My laying on of hands will leave a mark on you. And so she was like, oh, I didn't know. I said, that's in my brain. I'm like, how would you know? You had already judged me because you liked the dude. And so anything he said to you, you believe. It's the same thing with children. When girls come to tell you, or boys come to tell you that auntie or uncle is touching me, and as a parent, you look at the child in the face and tell the child that they are lying. How? Did you raise a liar? Are you not the parent of the child? Are you raising liars in your house? Are you trying to tell me that you don't have a relationship with your children, that they are free enough to walk up to you to tell you that this person touched me? Do you have a relationship with your children that when they get into their offices and someone sexually harasses them, they can actually come to you to tell you whether they are male or female? We have excused women to talk about sexual harassment, but men cannot open their mouth to say that their bosses are groping them in the office. Their bosses are touching them and telling them that, oh, what I would do to your body if I lay my hands on it. What will you do? Pray? What? It's wrong. Don't accept it. And I mean, don't accept it at all. When people throw sexual remarks at you, don't take it. There was a day someone looked at me the first time. He said, oh, my God, you look so good. You're my distraction. I smiled. I laughed. The second time, you're my distraction. Oh, God, I am not your distraction. If you are distracted by anything, go and look for it. I am not your distraction. Don't give me sexual flirtations that lead to harassment because I am trying to be nice. And then I don't want to give it back to you aura for aura. But then that gives you the authority and the right to think that you can continue to talk to me that way. No. And I am talking to both man and woman. I was talking to a particular person and he said there is no way he can do without having sex. I said, well, he said he's been having sex since he was 6. Because the maids that his mother, that his parents brought into the house had been sleeping with him since he was 6 years old. That boy has been harassed sexually all his life till he became 18 and he was a pro. He was not the one doing it. You cannot hide, parents, you cannot hide your head or brush this under the table and tell yourself that the children will be all right. They won't. This trauma is marking their lives. Wake up. There is a pandemic out there. When parents don't believe their children, and later in life, they now say, I'm sorry I didn't believe you. You're sorry? With all the things that child had to go through, the trauma that they've had to overcome, it shouldn't be them. You should protect them. Protect your children. If you know that your colleague in the office is being sexually harassed, protect your colleague. Don't say, as long as it's not happening to me, I'm just going to focus on my work. Oh, really? You just want to focus on your work and you're allowing someone to be afraid to go into the manager's office because the manager wants to touch them anyhow. Manager wants to stroke them anyhow. Talk at them anyhow. Grope them, whether man or woman. It's not right. People have lost their jobs because they refuse to be sexually harassed. They have been demoted at work because they refuse to be sexually harassed. They have lost relationships because maybe the brother or the sister of that person wants to touch you at the family house and you tell them no. There are stories for days. But you shouldn't be look, your silence is you being a silent participant to that harassment. The fact that you are not doing anything about it. The fact that you are watching it happen to someone else, as long as it is not you. You're a participant. You're an active participant. Your silence is a yes to that harassment. And it's not right. We shouldn't continue to have the same, raise the same level of traumatic children, generation in, generation out. Something has got to break. And it starts with you watching me. If you have been harassed, I am so sorry. I know what it is like to feel like your body is not your own. I know what it is like to feel like men feel like they can touch you anyhow. And it also happens for men. where they feel that because they have a fine face and a good body, that women just think that they can come in and take and take and take and not give anything back. It is not right for you to be harassed sexually. Nobody should touch you in the places where you do not want them to touch. There was a time I was teaching girls at the high school during this girls' day a few years ago, and the boys were there, they were sneaking, and I told them, I said, you have breasts, right? They said, yes. Do the boys have breasts? They said, no. I said, you have vaginas? They said, yes. Do the boys have vaginas? They said, no. I said, so tell the boys not to touch what they don't have. But in the workplace, it goes beyond the core things, the stroking of the hair, the pulling of the chest, the discomfort that they give you, the aura of being touched irresponsibly that they give is part of it. So don't stand for it, and stand for truth. If you know that something is wrong, stand for truth. I know that you're afraid to lose your job, but stand for truth. I beseech you to always stand for what is right. Because let me tell you something, if you stand for what is right, it's going to save a lot more people. What if all these children that have been sexually harassed, what if I could tell my parents that I was being sexually harassed by my neighbor and by the people in my father's church? What if I could tell my parents back then? I didn't, because I couldn't. And I had to live through that trauma. And I want you to know that I am here for you. It's not easy. I know. It's not fair. I know. People shouldn't do it to you. I get it. But forgive them for yourself, not for them. Because you see, if you don't, that trauma will chew you up like cancer. And God has great plans for you. So I want to pray for everyone that has gone through any depth and level of harassment, that the Lord will heal your soul, your mind, your will, and your emotions in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you so much for listening to me today. I know this was a very sensitive topic, and I would like to hear your comments and let me know what you think. Until I come your way again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button. My name is Olabisi, and this is Life Unscripted with Olabisi. See you at the next episode. Peace out.